This is Mr. O, this is the Lamb, and you are most welcome to my channel, where we look at the best, the worst, the silliest and the grossest board games, and sometimes learn something too. Today, we're looking at a game about sheep.
This is Fleeced, a dice rolling game for 2 to 6 players. It takes about 45 minutes to play. Rustling is rife in the countryside surrounding West Wallaby Street, forcing worried sheep to take refuge all over town. Work your way around the streets, rustling them from their hideouts or from other players, and herd them in long lines safely back home. But beware, the more sheep you rustle, the more other rustling rascals will have their greedy eyes on your flock. This episode is sponsored by the word sheep. Sheep is a special word in English. It doesn't take an S when there are 2 or more. So we say 1 sheep, 2 sheep, and 3 sheep. We don't say 3 sheeps. It's a bit like saying 2 children or 3 people. But unlike child becoming children and person becoming people, the word sheep doesn't change at all. Thanks, sheep. Now, press the like and subscribe buttons, and I will get on with the review. How do you play this game? Place the board in the middle of the table. The table, right? Not the middle of your bath. Set up the board like this with a white sheep on each of the 7 hideouts. The post office, the cinema, the town hall, the museum, the fish and chip shop, the church, and the pub, but not the police station. You start in your character's home space. Gromit is at home in 62 West Wallaby Street, Wendeline is in her wool shop, and Feathers McGraw is in a glue factory. That penguin is psychotic. You will move around the board and pick up cheese cards, which allow you to move more quickly or to open the hideouts. Some also send you to the police station where you miss a turn. If you get a key card, you can then unlock the matching hideout. Of course, you've got to land on it first. Nope, gone past it. Try again. Nope, missed it again. Keep trying. No, I've gone past it once again. Why can't I get on the key square? Anyway, once you open a hideout, the sheep gather on the village green. If you are adjacent, next to the green, you can rustle, steal, the sheep. Roll both dice and move that number of squares with that number of sheep towards your home. Once you are rustling, stealing sheep, other players can rustle, steal from you. They just need to be adjacent next to one of your sheep after they have moved, and they can also roll 2 dice. This happens quite a lot because the sheep follow you in long lines around the board, so it's easy to get close to another player and steal, rustle from them. This is where these cheese cards become useful because they allow you to roll more dice and move more quickly towards home. Oh, and you have to blow your sheep whistle every time you rustle a sheep or lead them with you. If you forget, you lose all your sheep back to the green. Yep, that gets annoying. When all 40 sheep have been rustled, stolen, and led into the home spaces, the game ends. Add up your points by looking underneath the sheep. Most points wins. Things I like about this game. First of all, the pieces are very nice. We don't have these generic movers from Going Crackers or these rubbish ones from Rocket Race that are almost the same colour and only 2 of the characters. Instead, we have proper miniatures that stand up nicely and, most important of all, fit in the squares. The sheep are really cute too, and I especially like that you get some grey and black ones. This might seem like a small thing, but I bet the managers of the games company tried to make them all the same colour to save money. The second thing I like is that the designer of this game is Nick Park. He's the actual creator of Wallace and Gromit. He sat down and animated the first film by hand by himself. How cool is it that he designed this game by himself as well? He didn't need to do that. He'd already won 4 Oscars by 2007, including one for A Close Shave that this is based on. I think this might be why we get a lot of cool things in this game, like the 3 colours of sheep and the whistles and things. Things we don't really need, but makes this a very cool Wallace and Gromit game all the same. Third, the board really fits into the world of Wallace and Gromit. It's not a random circle like Rocket Race. It's a little English village with all the places you can expect to find there. The post office, the cinema, the town hall, the museum, the fish and chip shop, the church, the pub, and the police station. Finally, the rulebook is presented as a newspaper with columns, headlines, a byline, and it is full of sheep puns. Now, a pun is a joke using words that sound similar, or a play on words. So instead of the word you in the headline, we have you, which is a female sheep. There are loads of puns, especially on the front page. You heard it here first. Sheer luck. Empty paddock. In fact, the title Fleeced is a pun on the noun fleece, which is the coat of a sheep, and the verb to fleece, which means to steal from someone by tricking them. Understanding and using puns can really level up your English writing. Just don't use too many, or you might be punished. Things I dislike about this game. On the subject of the rulebook, I'd say it's quite long and complicated for a game that's fairly simple. It probably needs to be edited. Strangely enough, I found an alternate version of the rules, which has the same front page, but which is better written inside. There are some rule differences too, which is weird. I think this might be the American version. The whistle rule is a bit annoying, because it's so easy to forget to do it. Plus, after the COVID-19 pandemic, it's gross to put something in your mouth that someone else may have used, even if you clean it first. The only thing that really bugs me about this game is the no doubling back rule. So you have to move as many spaces as you roll, like most games, but you can't double back to land on the square you need. So if I have the key card for the post office, I have to land on this exact square. If I'm here and I roll a 4, I can't go 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I have to go past it and try to get back on my next turn. But if I don't roll a 2 on that turn, I miss it again. You can spend ages going back and forth trying to land on the square you want. Imagine if that happened in real life, if you were trying to get to the toilet, but you kept walking past it again and again and again and never getting inside. It's ridiculous! My solution to this is to treat all of the key cards as skeleton keys. Usually there's just one, so you can use them to open any hideout, and you don't need to land exactly on the one you want. Should you ask for this game for Christmas? Fleeced is fairly old, having been released in 2007, but it's a fun game that you can play with one other person or in a group of up to 6. It goes for £15 to £25 on eBay, but I found my copy in a charity shop for just £5, so keep your eyes peeled. Mums, dads, grown-ups and teachers, head over to my second channel where I have suggestions for playing this game and similar ones at home and in the classroom. And you lot, watch the outtakes and tell me your favourite sheep pun in the comments. Sheep on Gaming. I think this might be why... He'd already won 4 Oscars by 2004. Oh, 2004.